Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, which is all about two of the apps for the XPRIZE community competition, Amrita Learning and Codex, which is by People for Words. My name is Michelle Smith, and I'm the membership manager, but I'm also the point person for members of Team ProLiteracy for this competition. If you have any questions about the competition or haven't committed to our team yet, please send us a message to xprize@proliteracy.org. Okay, we've got some housekeeping to do before we get started. Your phones are going to be muted during the presentation. If you have questions, you may type them directly to the question box, which is a little different than the chat box, so make sure you get the questions box. We will monitor questions throughout the webinar, and we'll save time after each presentation for answering them. And everyone who registered for this webinar will receive a link to the recording in an email that will go out tomorrow, and it'll also be posted to our website. Our presenters today are Catherine Davenport and Dr. Prima Nedungadi, I apologize if I mispronounced that, from Amrita Create, and they'll be speaking about the Amrita Learning app. And then when they're finished and we've answered questions, then we'll be hearing from Anthony Cuevas from People for Words, who will be speaking about the Codex app. We'll hear from Amrita first. So Catherine and Prima, if you want to take it away.
Hi, and thank you for the introduction. This is Catherine Davenport, and Prema will not be able to join us today because she's having connections difficulties at the place where she is from, and she's been trying, but she and I both were prepared for either direction, so no worries. I'd like to get started introducing everybody to Amrita Learning. Can everybody see the slides, Michelle?
No, we can't see anything yet, Catherine. Jennifer shared her screen with you, so maybe you just have to, there might be a pop-up you have to accept.
Okay, let me see. Show, should I do show?
Yes. Yes.
Did that work?
There we go. We can see it now.
Yay.
Great.
Okay. Welcome to Amrita Learning. Amrita app is designed for adult learners. We're one of the apps that joined the program, and we built our app from scratch according to the specifications of XPRIZE. And their specifications were that they wanted us to meet the needs of people who are really complete non-readers up to 3rd grade. And for that reason, we have constructed an app that is actually accessible by non-readers. Which makes it, as a person who might teach a multi-level ESL 1 class recognized, it makes it a really useful tool for teachers in the room also to think about even just having their non-speakers bring their phone. So this is something to keep in mind. We are under the umbrella organization Embracing the World, which is a United Nations NGO. We help provide disaster relief and also the 5 basic needs of human beings in the underserved populations around the world. And we believe strongly education is a basic human need. And for that reason, our app is free, and it will remain free because it's our sincere desire that the people who have this need not be barred from it by poverty. And let's see if the video will work. I'm going to go to a video next. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Navigation is there a separate navigation other than it's not letting me do my own slides here. Okay.
Catherine, I'm not sure what you mean. You should probably just be able to go to the video on your screen and open it.
Right, that makes sense, but it's not happening that way exactly. So there we go.
Oh, here we go.
Amrita Learning is an engaging, level K-5 reading curriculum designed to be fun and easy to use. In this app, you will find a reading curriculum of stories interwoven with
Catherine, can you increase the volume? It's difficult to hear.
With English and Spanish audio. learning games to support lesson vocabulary. These games are also integrated throughout the lessons, so students can master lesson vocabulary. A reading library, where any student can read at any level with audio support. This includes the budding Jazz series, which features Cam, a young jazz drummer who loves Ella Fitzgerald. This reading library also houses popular science titles, self-empowerment articles, true stories of brave and courageous people, and tales from around the world. Spanish vocabulary support is found throughout the app, including some fully bilingual stories.
Tiene un día muy ocupado mañana.
Spanish support will continue to increase with future updates. Quality voice audio is available on every reading passage in the app, as well as throughout the lessons and games. The girls must now give their phones to Angel every night at 10 o'clock p.m. Students receive a digital certificate when they pass the optional grade level exam at the end of each level. For beginning readers, lessons include complete instruction of the alphabet sounds, with a short, engaging video of each alphabet letter. There's also complete instruction of word-building skills, PRIZE sight words, and 144 assessed reading passages between the first and third grades. To navigate, use the picture menu to find your way around the app. The white arrow is a back button, which will help you move around inside the lessons. You can update your app or watch videos on how to use this app by choosing the question mark icon. Touch the sound icon at the top of the screen to start voice audio for stories. Serena has a secret. Touch the triangle-shaped play button in the middle of video screens to play videos. Lesson 3A, Making Words. Awards. Amrita received the UNESCO NLM Award for Adult Literacy in 2008 and the Digital India Award from the Government of India in 2015. In 2018, Amrita Learning App was named one of 5 finalists by the Barbara Bush Foundation Adult Literacy XPRIZE, presented by Dollar General. In 2019, Amrita Learning App was named one of 4 apps to qualify for the XPRIZE Communities Competition by exceeding the minimum of 1 level of improvement in all types of learners. Amrita Learning App, made for adult learners.
Okay, I hope that volume level was working for everybody. Amrita Learning App is a free app. All of the apps are free during the first year of the competition. Amrita Learning will remain free after the competition. We won't be charging money for its use. Amrita Learning App is recognizing the importance of nonfiction and fiction. And nonfiction has its own reading needs. It's got a heavier vocabulary load. Content vocabulary requires some buildup for students to understand it. What we do in our Spanish supported series is we have made 2 fictional stories that build interest and vocabulary for a 3rd factual article which deals with high interest topics to adults. And so this high interest topic is at a higher level of reading. And since all of our passages are audio supported, we go ahead and we use the higher vocabulary that adults need to understand these things. But we give extensive vocabulary support before each story, also with audio. And then there's a bingo game with each lesson that just practices the vocabulary for that particular story or article. We work hard to develop reading stamina by high interest articles and stories. We make them lengthy, we make them interesting, and we go ahead and we add real vocabulary. Because of the audio support, we found that interested adults really do make it through these series, and they build their levels quite quickly by doing repeated reading of these longer passages that have good vocabulary content. Amrita Learning also has a picture dictionary with English and Spanish audio. And we find that for our non-speakers, we actually had a heavy bunch of non-speakers using our app during the trial, that they really spent a lot of repeated time building up their vocabulary in this part of the app before moving on to other things. Again, the learning games support the lesson vocabulary. We do have a separate games tab, but that is a generalized vocabulary list that it uses from the whole entire app. Each story lesson also has its own bingo game or word drop, and that particular game practices the vocabulary just for that lesson. We also have a reading library where any level of student can rehearse reading with audio support. Now, of course, it will be at level for some people, but the reading library is generally 4th through 8th grade reading material. The reading library also houses popular science titles, and these are the titles that work up into the 8th grade. You know, for the magic of magnets, for instance, we discussed the polarity and how the alignment of the polarity of the molecules creates the magnetic effect. So we give real science, but we give it in a very high interest fashion. More library topics include self-empowerment articles, true stories of courage, tales from around the world, and biographies. And it's our philosophy. There's two types of learning. And one type of learning helps you be prepared to make a living and to do all the basic necessities in life. But the other type of learning really helps you develop strength of character, courage. It gives you inspiration. We feel like this is really food for the soul, and the learners that we address need this just as much as they need any other skill involved with reading. So we try to make both things available within the app. As you saw in the video, the Spanish vocabulary is found throughout the app, including some fully bilingual stories and articles. We have 500 PRIZE sight words that are translated into English. They're in English, translated to Spanish, and have audio for both. In total, with Picture Dictionary and our Spanish supported reading series, which is the Leo and Serena series, we have over 1,400 passages and words translated into Spanish with audio. And this is outside of the, I think we have 4 fully bilingual stories on the reading library now. And it's our goal to increase that because we know there's a great need for it, so we feel a great need to do it. Natural voice audio models the correct cadence of the English language for every story and article on Amrita Learning app. I want to say something beyond this because we really deliberately thought about our audio. In California, where I received my teaching credential, we were required to do another certificate program for teaching English language learners. And I was really surprised and really started paying attention when I first heard in one of my classes, all language is really a constant stream of language. You actually can't tell where a word ends or begins unless it's your native tongue. And so to make it comprehensible to someone where it's their foreign tongue, it's very helpful if you slightly accentuate the beginning and the endings of words. and you go at about this speed, and it makes it very comprehensible. And I can tell you it's true because when I speak like this to anybody in India, nobody understands me. But when I speak like this, then everybody understands me. So I've become accustomed to speaking like that, where I slightly accentuate the beginnings and the endings of the words. And this way I get understood in my daily life here. And so I applied that knowledge from the classroom and from living in India to this app in narrating the stories to make them comprehensible to our second language learners. Students receive a certificate when they pass each optional grade level exam. We know that people like paper too. So on our website, we'll have some paper certificates available that teachers can print out at will without relying on the phone to do it. If you know a student has passed a certain level, there's certainly no problem in a teacher issuing a certificate. We don't feel like you have to do anything with their phone or any special working with the computer to make that happen. Short, engaging videos teach the sound of each alphabet letter, and word-making lessons start after learning 4 letters. So we kind of designed this from scratch. I talked to a lot of successful Montessori teachers I knew, and they said that if you teach 4 high-frequency alphabet letters first, you can immediately start building words, which is certainly what an adult wants to do. It's very dismaying to decide you're going to learn to read and then to have to memorize 26 alphabet letters before you actually start learning to read. So in this way, things speed along very quickly. Our primary lessons between the levels of kindergarten and first part of 3rd grade are unlocked. In this way, people can kind of roam around the levels and fix the things they know they're missing. We don't want to lock people into having to complete a whole series of lessons in their busy life just to get a few skills they might be missing. Also, the grade level exams are unlocked at every level because we find that adult learners get frustrated easily. Many of them have mixed levels of comprehension also. They may have reading troubles due to a spotty attendance history in school, in which case they may have fine skills in certain areas and be lacking them in others. And so we find that in this way, we tend to keep the learner longer than with a locked situation. However, it's clearly sequenced, so people who want to go in sequence won't have any trouble figuring out what that sequence is. You'll see we make heavy use of word families as we build the words so that people can organize their mind around the word more easily. I have already mentioned the XPRIZE first 500 sight words. They're broken into 25-word lessons with a vocabulary section which pronounces them in English and Spanish with translation. And then they play a bingo game, which contains those 25 words. And I mentioned already in the video the 144 assessed reading passages. What I didn't say is that those reading passages are really made for English language learners. They emphasize common English syntax patterns. The sentences are quite repetitive and they help the learner grab a hold of the vocabulary that is being emphasized, plus how he, she, her, them, it, their, all those things, how they switch within a question-answer pattern. Many of them are written in a question-answer format. And so they also lend themselves to classroom use, where teachers can have whole table groups say the sentences aloud with less fear, less trepidation, and thereby get their body to lock that syntax pattern into the body memory as well. Free reports. Reports are free for communities choosing Amrita Learning app, both now and again, they'll stay free after the contest. Our goal is that adults learn how to read. So that's just who we are and that's how it will stay. These reports can support funding for you also. You can use Amrita reports to demonstrate effective programs to obtain funding. Here you'll see a list of our field test users who started out at the kindergarten level and moved up to the second half of third grade level within that field test. We have about 51 such users, but going through their individual records, looking at the usage patterns, I would say probably 39 of them did it solely from using the program. You can see it through their, they have very similar patterns of repeated use of memorizing vocabulary, because these are people who were Spanish speakers who started out without English alphabetic skills. Again, these words were represented in the video. I put them here in case the video didn't work, but everybody saw that. To download the app, we are recommending, if it's in your power, to email or SMS or WhatsApp the link to the learners. Then it will greatly simplify them putting your code in correctly, because they don't need to enter the code if you give it this way. What they do get when they press on this link is they get WhatsApp. It opens exactly to Amrita Learning app. They still must press the install button and the open button, but they don't need to put the number into the code. We have in production right now, aside from this slide being on our website, we're making a short, like 2-minute video about how to download the app in the various ways. And this is one of the ones we discuss. The second method is the regular method. You just go to Google Play Store. Here's the tricky part, spelling Amrita. And the best way to remember it is just like the name Rita, like the sentence, I am Rita. That's how you spell Amrita. And Amrita has a lovely Sanskrit meaning. It's nectar, because, like, again, we consider learning education to be just one of those gifts that should be given freely. But do put all 3 words, or else you'll get some strange Indian videos. Amrita Learning app, so all those 3. And for ProLiteracy, the code is 1155, as probably everyone attending this conference knows. Okay, I want to speak just for a moment, I'll be brief, about levels of implementation of the app. The first level is simply to give the link and the people download it. We call that like the first level of support, which is basically no support. The second one is you download and you provide a place and actually just somebody to help with the navigation or holding the phone while people download it and take the assessment. Some of the lowest adults have troubles holding their phone without touching the screen. And so certainly during the pre-assessment, it's fun to help people with certain basic issues like holding the phone, basic navigation, things like that. 3 support sessions is what we recommend at a minimum if you want those 3 logins. And that would be for your lowest learners. The first session, you might download it and help them through any navigation issues for the pre-assessment. The second one, for people who need it, you might want to have a basic how to use your phone session, how to hold it, how to scroll, how to touch a thing in the right way to open it, how to close it, how to turn the phone on and off, how to charge the phone. Because if people don't use their phone, you need to teach those things if you expect this seed to take root, The third session would be having a place for them to sit and go through their first lesson. And an adult roaming the room, if there's questions, and even if there's not standing and seeing, is there something beneficial I could say to this user that will help them make fuller use of this. The fourth level is to use the app as waitlist material or supplemental material within the classroom. Certainly, so many centers are lacking a library, and Amrita has such a nice reading library. We have right now we have about 108 grades, 4th through 8th grade reading selections with audio support and vocabulary. And we have 144 between first grade and lower third grade. Classroom curriculum. For centers who wish that they had an overflow room, if nothing else, but they can afford a teacher or they have a volunteer, but they can't afford the curriculum, certainly there's plenty to do on Amrita Learning app that could even support a multi-level classroom. And I have a lot of experience teaching multi-level classrooms with reading. And so a lot of support is available there. And we will also be able to support people in person during the summer. On our website, we will post which dates will be in which cities, but we are going to visit 11 big cities between the months of June and mid-July. This is our contact information. You could take a screenshot of it if you like. And if you forget everything else, remember that Amrita is spelled the same as Amrita. And if you remember Amrita Learning app, if you Google that or you put it in your search for YouTube or for Google Play Store, if you put the 3 words together, pretty much it gives you a really good result with finding our website or our video or our app. And that might be the last slide. Yep. So, are there any questions?
Yeah, we have a few. We have time for a couple of the questions. The first question, is the app only for Android? Is the app available only for Android devices?
At this point, it is. We've had a couple of partners expressing interest in helping us move over to iOS because they would like to dovetail with us. There's right now some national organizations that provide grade 8 curriculum upwards, and they feel that if our app were in iOS, that we might be perfect partners. So we're in discussions about that right now. Presently, we're only Android, and for XPRIZE contest, only Android downloads will count. And I believe that's because many state governments give Android phones for free to people who are low income.
All right. I have something to add to this question regarding an answer, but I'm sure you might have something as well. Are there posters for each app to show students how to log in and sign up for an account and add the competition code? Just a really quick addition to what you might have to add to that. We have a toolkit on our website, and that toolkit includes all 4 apps and step-by-step processes for each one, and we're currently developing some videos as well. One of our team members has gone through the whole process for each one and has done his own kind of screen-by-screen visual, and we're putting in a video. We're going to add that to the toolkit, but if you want to access that, that's on ProLiteracy.org /XPRIZE. And it's right there front and center, so you can't really miss it. But if you have something to add, please do, Catherine.
No, I think that's great. And I think what I hear them asking for, which never occurred to me, is worksheets to hand out to students. And, you know, I think that's a lovely idea. And what I really like even better when I think about that is to make a pictorial handout where the people don't have to be able to read to be able to download it. So I think you've given us an idea to create such a handout. Right now we do have a video like that in production on how to download. We already have the slides that you saw on here posted on our website. And of course, ProLiteracy has a very easy code to remember, 1155. So yes, I think certainly you could use any of those avenues to find things.
Great, thanks. We have 2 more questions. I think we're going to stick with that, and then we'll switch over to Codex. How do teachers access the teacher side of Amrita to see student progress? Do we need to share a special code or link to the students?
Now, this is an interesting question. What you should do is go to our website. Again, it's on the contact page here, but you can also just Google Amrita Learning app, and it will give you our website pretty easily there. And right beneath our large video screen is the XPRIZE Communities area. And the second thing in there is a big heading that says sign up for free reports. Now, a lot of big communities like ProLiteracy have smaller communities within them. So if you open that conversation with us, that's the way to do it. You sign up for the free reports. You also can contact us at Amrita app help, like it's on the screen there, at Gmail, and that is given on the website also. And tell us your own situation. We can create an individual community code that goes along with the ProLiteracy code. So you could be a little sub-community to get your own reports. Then what you would do is you visit the report site yourself. You generate a number of different kinds of reports according to what your needs are. You can do it to show how many logins. You can do it to show student progress. You can do it to trace all manner of different things. And you can certainly ask those questions or start a conversation with us through Amrita App Help. If you want to do phone calls or FaceTimes, just give contact information at good times and we'll reach out to you to tailor things to you also. We have that freedom because, you know, we have an in-house team that works on these things full-time, year-round.
Okay, great. Thanks, Catherine. We're actually going to switch on over to Codex, but for any of the questions we don't get to during the webinar, we're going to work with the teams to get those answers, and we're going to add them to our FAQs, and we have a downloadable sheet right on our XPRIZE webpage as well as in the toolkit. So thanks again for that great presentation, Catherine. We're going to switch to Codex now.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Tony Cuevas. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, we are. If you just want to go into that, oh, you already know, to play from the start mode, and then we can see the full screen. Yep.
Are you not seeing the full screen?
No, but it looks like your mouse is hovering right over it right now. It says play from start. If you click that, it should actually show the full screen. That's my mouse.
Sorry.
If you, do you see in the top left corner, there's a small play from start icon. There's a couple icons at the top there, and that one's the first one on the left.
Under slideshow, under the tab slideshow.
It's right this.
Yeah, but is he on?
That's
Oh, yeah,
his
he,
screen.
okay, that's right.
I'm sorry, I don't see. Where would the icon be?
It's how much it's set. I think it's just delayed.
Yeah.
It's showing now.
Okay. Okay, great. Hi, I'm Dr. Tony Cuevas with SMU and with the People for Words team. We developed the Codex Lost Words of Atlantis app that's participating in the XPRIZE competition. We are a collaboration. Our team, People for Words, is a collaboration between the SMU School of Education, the SMU Guildhall, which is a video game development program, and a local literacy group called Literacy Instruction for Texas, or LIFT. Our app is Android only at this point. It was developed from scratch for this competition, and it is free at this time, and our plan is to keep it free as long as possible. So we tied for the grand prize in the Adult Literacy XPRIZE competition based on the largest gains in a pre-test, post-test scores over a 12-month period of users, and we won the contest for the best English language learner app in terms of the largest gains for English language learners over a 12-month period. So we're proud of those accomplishments. Okay, so the Codex game is it's an educational game that integrates 3 key elements. The first is a compelling storyline. So players use a computer tablet or codex that they find in their attic, is the start of the game, the story, to translate alien symbols from the lost city of Atlantis into English. So we decided to, after working with a large number of literacy organizations and adults in their programs, we decided to focus our game around the concept of learning letter sounds, but in the context of an alien language, in order to put everybody on a level playing ground. So regardless of what your starting point in terms of literacy is, you're solving something that is unknown. So even adults who are already proficient readers can have fun with this game. And they start in their attic. They move to the lost city of Atlantis, where they get some clues and have to solve some puzzles. And then they travel to interesting locations around the world. We use game-based learning elements to increase engagement and motivate students to practice, which is really the key to success in a game like this, is to get people to practice as much as possible to learn these fundamental skills. The game's built around a solid literacy curriculum that includes letter sound identification, fluency, and CASAS life and work reading skills. The players learn to build words and use words in context. They play as either a male or female character, and that we have help in the top right-hand corner that's available throughout. Instructions and help is available in either English or Spanish throughout the app. So users at the beginning, they can customize the app by deciding whether they want to get instructions and a help or guidance in English or Spanish, and that can be changed at any point in the game. So we start with the very basics or fundamental skills for letter sound fluency, like we talked about before. These are kind of ancient symbols that they're solving for, so it's a fun way to practice. And it integrates into the story. They build from letters to build words, and then from words to build sentences and so forth. Learners also, it builds in complexity over time. So learners match words with images, and they get to visit exciting locations. We talked about Egypt and Australia. They have an opportunity to practice through a variety of mini games, including something like this, where they're matching images and words. And they get to apply what they're learning in practical ways. So they interact with individuals from each of the countries and various locations they go to, and they help them solve problems through a combination of audio and interacting with the mini games. So they talked about, as I mentioned earlier, we've done several studies throughout the competition, and what we found is that people who use the app learn, and they're able to build fundamental skills in terms of letter sound identification, fluency, word fluency, whole word reading fluency, as well as practical CASAS life and work reading skills. And as well, we've learned, we designed the game so that it would be fun and give people opportunities to practice in a number of different ways. We have our website is called peopleforwords.org, and on that website on the left, you'll see there's an icon that says XPRIZE Communities Competition, and that will bring you to the page on the right of your screen with information about how to get started. We have videos that cover how to download the app, how to locate and download the app. We have links to it. how to get started, another video on how to get started with the app, and a third video on how to enter the code, the community's competition code. There's also my contact information on this page, and various other, we have frequently asked questions and so forth. In order to use Codex, as I said, it is free in the Google Play Store. It's Android only at this time. We are planning to release an iOS version in the future, but we for this part of the competition, it is Android only. It requires Android 4.4 or higher, a minimum of 350 megabytes of space, a Google account, and the community's competition code to get started. We also have on our website a PDF document that you can download with instructions for self-enrollment, with some icons to help guide them through the process. But this PDF we find helpful in helping people get started with the app. As far as the question has come up about reporting. We have limited reporting at this time, but reports are available upon request, so you can contact me at this information, acuevas@smu.edu, or this is my phone number. You can contact me for information about how to get reports or details about using the app or competition. So that's all that I had. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them at this point.
Hi, yeah, we have a question right now. Will your help? I'm not sure I understand that. Maybe they're saying app. Will your app? Says will your help, but maybe will your app be available in other languages? Our state has a lot of African immigrants and refugees with other languages.
So at this point, again, we developed this specifically for the XPRIZE competition, which required Spanish and English. So that's all that we initially developed it for, but we are looking at other languages. So if you have a specific request, if you would contact me, we'll definitely place it on our priority list as we get in levels of interest. So.
Great. That's currently all we have, question-wise.
Thank you, Tony, for that interesting presentation. Does anybody else have any other questions for Tony, whether it's about specifics about downloading the app or just about the best way to use it with your learners? Is anything coming in, Jen?
No.
And while you're waiting, I'll just add to that is that so we designed the app for the competition as a standalone app, but we encourage people to use it as a supplement to programs as well. We found it to be most effective when used in between regular class meetings where people get a chance. Really, it is all about practicing in a fun and engaging way. We found that users get started with the game and they have so much fun they don't realize what they're learning or how much they're learning. And that's really been our goal all along, is to design it so that it's fun, engaging. It helps them build these kind of fundamental skills that many of them may be missing and not even recognize that they're missing. So happens in a fun way, fun and engaging way.
Thank you, Tony. Actually, I have one more question for you. Could people contact you at that email if they're having technical difficulty with the download? I know we have a couple of people where, we're going to have videos, but we might not be as equipped here to walk people through technical challenges with actually just getting the app to open and load.
Yes.
Are you available for that kind of assistance?
Yes, I am. I'm the person to contact for that. So thank you.
Okay. So they can email you there. That's great. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. We haven't gotten any more questions, so I just want to remind everybody that you'll get a copy of this webinar. We'll send an email to everybody who registered. They'll get a copy of it. We'll also put it on our website, and there's information in the toolkit about these individual apps, and we're going to continue to build that out and add more information to help make it as easy as possible for you to get your learners using these terrific apps, okay? So thank you to our presenters, Catherine and Tony. We appreciate your time, and thank you everybody for attending. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Can I hang up?
I haven't had one like that in a while. 35, 40 people.
Sorry, I kept trying to touch my screen. Bye-bye, thank you.
Bye.